Welcome to Geeks Corner. I'm Mr. DAPs.
I'm Katie.
I'm terrible at parties.
And I'm Captain Murray the Pirate.
You're what?
Captain Murray the Pirate.
What was that?
Captain Murray the Pirate.
Captain Mary. Mary. You got married?
Mary.
You have to marry the pirate.
No, you can get married by a captain, but you have to be out at sea.
What if you're still a pirate?
I don't know.
Well, then you marry yourself.
Let's go to social media first, and then we'll explore this deeper.
If you'd like to help us understand what's going on, because we don't.
We don't know.
We never know.
Use the hashtag Geeks Corner on the Twitters, and we'll talk to you about stuff. Maybe.
Maybe. So you're Captain Mary.
Mary Magdalene.
Captain Murray the Pirate.
You want to explain this?
Well, you see, I needed a new job. I lost
You need
my
a new
job.
what?
You need a new Job.
Job?
No job. And
He's that old dude in the Bible, right?
Job,
And,
yeah. Fish. It's related to fish.
In Salt, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought I'd take up piracy. Because there was this
You
building.
take up what?
And the
Takes up
building
privacy?
dropped people.
Privacy.
And so I thought I'd just drop people off a plank.
You're with the NSA?
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you for securing our freedoms.
Or something. Most awkward
Wrong
opening
show, anyway.
ever. I think this is a very good time to go to a meme. Don't you think so, Tyler? If I give you like 20 seconds. Anyway, join in the conversation. Murray is trying to find a profession since he no longer can be a
There should be a
bellhop.
captain in there somewhere.
We'll see.
It should be. There's not gonna, but...
But in theory.
If you've earned it, you get to be a captain. Do you have
I
a
went
do you
to
have a ship?
pirating school for one day.
Do you have a ship
Everything's...
or a boat?
I've got a little boat.
You want to talk about your little boat?
Little boat. It travels the four winds of my bathtub.
How many windows you got in there to cause that much cross breeze? Like,
It's quite drafty in there.
do you set up fans? I'm picturing various fans.
Well, there's one that blows hot air, and it's got like it looks like a gun, like this.
Whoa, whoa.
What?
Just use the force.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm being forceful.
Let's go look at this meme that Miss Bailey see. Murray, I know you're a Sith. Actually, can you read your part, Murray? Let's make this good.
I know you are a Sith Lord. Be truthful. Whom did you steal that lightsaber from?
Do you want to play me? You can say my part.
Murray, this is a little much.
Higher. Thanks. There's your first meme of the night. I don't know if there's more or not. So, Murray, you're trying to find another profession, and you thought
Commandeer, it's a nautical term.
you're trying to commandeer another profession, and you think this is a good idea.
Well, yes.
How many sailing ships have you been on?
I've been on all of 0.
Okay.
So you've
Um,
never lost one.
Could you tell me what that big sheet-looking thing is on a ship?
It is what you make blanket forts out of.
Yes.
Okay.
Solid answer. So
How about the big piece of wood that goes straight up from the deck? What's that called?
That is what you use in the fancy summer games.
So how
where
about
someone jumps
a
over.
maypole? That's what it is.
how about when you're
Maypole.
on a ship and you see a wheel like this? What do you call this?
I call it wheelie thingy.
The most important part about being a pirate is not knowing things, but saying them confidently. He's got that down.
I say I'm not confident.
You know the best part about that is I told him what it was, and he still messed it up.
Yeah.
It's wheelie thingy.
Really think. So what's that in your hand
This I do know. It is a pistol.
from Disneyland?
I believe so. Are we allowed to say that? This is from Disneyland.
Did you get it from
Don't
Disneyland?
fire that in here.
It is-
Don't.
Did you get it from
Nope,
Disneyland?
don't point that at me.
I mean, I got mine from Disneyland
Yes.
back when they used to sell those at Disneyland. So, anybody else remember that?
Yeah.
Nope.
All before
Couple
a year
people?
ago?
A few years ago. I don't know what he's doing. So
all
this
the
would be the
ketchup
point
gone?
where hop on Twitter. Hop on Twitter and let us know if you think this is a good profession for Murray. I'm
It's
pretty
an
sure
excellent-
it's not, and you need to come back and try again.
Captain Murray.
Captain Murray, otherwise known as CM.
Yep, I like it. Good. So things happened this week.
Yeah, so it was announced that Disneyland's getting new Fastpasses and a new MaxPass, and Fastpasses are coming to the Matterhorn and Toy Story Midway Mania.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about this?
Midway's really
I think we should ask the boatswain first.
Boatswain? Ranking him Boatswain?
Yeah, I'm being generous.
Okay.
This is a boat. Swim?
No, the boat's not swaying. Calm down.
What do you think, Murray?
Captain Murray. And
I haven't promoted you
I
yet.
like toys.
Do you like toys?
Toys are very nice.
Good.
Cameron.
So, other things. I do think Midway's a really good thing to get a fast pass.
I actually think Matterhorn is too.
I do, although I don't think it's
Did
as
you guys see the
necessary.
line on Sunday? It was wrapped around and doubled back and almost blocking that walkway.
But still, that line always moves fairly fast. Even when it's pretty long, it doesn't take terribly long.
I still think it's a good idea.
I've heard more outcry for a need for it Midway, and so I'm glad it's there.
Yeah, I think that one's slower.
Florida
Makes
has
sense.
Midway Fastpasses.
Mhm. And we will too soon.
Hooray.
So you think it's a good idea
Yes, give
for
me those
one,
passes.
but not the other.
I think it's valuable. I'm just saying it wasn't as necessary as Midway.
What else would you choose then?
I don't know if I would. The more fast passes you add, the less value they have. I don't know. I would have kept it limited. But
The more fast passes you add, the more you can give out.
yes, theoretically. But
More
they're
bodies
still
wander around
blocked.
the park.
Well, that's the downside. Yes.
Mhm.
What do you think?
I was honestly really surprised that they didn't give Midway a fast pass system when they released the ride. Like, that was my huge, like, why didn't they do that? Matterhorn is something that frequently, if I see it past a certain point, I won't do it. And I think a
Which
fast
is
pass...
most of the time.
Yeah, if I can't just walk on, I'll be like, I'll pass. So I think it's gonna be very...
Fast pass.
So I think it's a very valuable change for both rides.
I'm not even gonna ask you. We have another
I like
meme.
mountains too.
We have another meme
you do?
that
Ooh, memes.
I love me.
Oh, and it's got one of my favorites on it, too.
this is a good meme. This actually leads into our third topic, which we're gonna make our second topic because I think this is important.
cool.
Are we close on that meme?
Oh, we are so.
We are so close. One of the greatest characters of all times that needs his own movie
Really does.
is Porkins. And this would be, I think, a prequel because it'd be really hard to do a Porkins sequel.
I love the Porkins.
With beans? There it is.
I like
So let's take a look at this meme. It would be a perfect segue to the Fastpass MaxPass.
Got you covered.
Yes.
It's kind of Wolford Brimley-ish, a little bit. Ah.
You have to wonder. Go back to that meme.
Bring it back.
Bring it back.
Take it back now, y'all.
Thank you.
Now look at his face. What was he thinking in that exact moment?
I didn't know I'd be a meme.
Did I leave the stove on?
Yeah. You do have to wonder. We'll come back to the prequel thing. Before we do that, we're going to flip over to the Disney Channel. They're getting a new Disney Channel original movie based on Tangled and Rapunzel that will turn into a series. And we've got this really cool piece of art showing her with surprisingly long golden hair that returns, that you find out a little bit about in this trailer they just released this last week. You're super excited about this.
I
Why?
have opinions.
Oh, good. Tell us your opinions.
I actually, the other night, I was closing, and my best friend Veronica texted me, and she just goes, "Can we talk about this whole Tangled thing?" Because Tangled is her favorite princess movie. And I said, "Let's." And I think we talked for about 3 hours, just going very
I thought she
in
was going to
depth.
say 3 minutes. We
Well, it
talked
was-
for a
it
whole
was
3
closing.
minutes.
Closing.
Okay.
But at first I just thought it was a series, and I was okay with the animation change. But now knowing it's a movie and a series, I'm less okay with the animation change, because I feel like it's weird to do another.
But it's a movie for the series.
I know, but I still feel like it's weird to do another movie.
But it's on the Disney Channel.
Okay, but I still feel like it's weird.
You're
But it's a
poking
movie
bear
for the
with a
series.
stick.
Yeah, but I got a bear over here and a pirate over there, so...
My other issue that Veronica pointed out.
What was the first
is-
issue?
The first issue is the animation change. Second issue. She says, 70 feet of my dad's gonna kill me because she doesn't have enough controlling parental figures in her life. Like, why do you need to add another, like, controlling adult who's gonna be mad about something that she does?
Although, to be fair, he lost her for 16 years.
So he's gonna be mad about her hair?
No, he's going to be hyper-controlling because he's scared of losing her again.
For another 16
I think
years.
that's a solid motivation.
Also, he lost
About-
her because of the hair. So,
True.
He did lose her because of the hair.
I'm just saying that it shouldn't be that her dad's gonna kill her.
how do we know?
Although
Like-
that's
I know. I'm a dramatic person. Like, I say things like that. But I'm just saying that she's had enough controlling parental figures in her life.
So
she
you're
doesn't need
saying
another
it's going to be really good.
yeah, that's what
I'm
hearing.
hopeful. I'm really intense tonight. I like see how much. I
Okay,
move.
so what did you think of the trailer?
Is it sponsored by Rogaine, or is that just coming up later?
That's the next segue.
Cool.
Then we're going to talk about your beard.
Later.
I think it's cute. I think it's gonna retain some of the cute, like, Tangled things, like the Flynn and Rapunzel when he's like, you could tell me if you want to, and she just goes, thank you, and he's like, really? Like, it keeps that same dynamic of their relationship, and it's super
How
cute.
long do you think they keep that going?
A while.
Like 3 seasons a while, 6 seasons a while, or 1 season a
Are
while?
you
it's gonna be
asking
like
how
one or
long
two.
can they keep it going, or how long are they going to?
Both.
Two.
Typical is 4 on Disney Channel.
Yeah.
How long did
Do you think
Girl Meets
it'll
World
last
go?
that
Did it go
long?
3? I was gonna
3.
say, that went 3.
Yeah. For the most part.
But that was
it's
a
4.
demographic issue.
Right.
Yeah.
Did Flint's nose look weird to you?
Everything
can't
looks
get my
weird.
nose-
It's,
right.
it's the new style of animation.
Yeah.
The new old style of animation, because
Yeah.
to me it looks like they're taking it from a comic book. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, it's just, it's kind of this new thing is almost old and...
It's
I don't know.
different.
So, you think it's going to be good?
Yeah,
2 thumbs up?
sure.
What do you guys think?
Not my demo. I
I heard you're going to watch it every day the moment it comes out.
Yeah.
My
And
wife
I know
will.
all the
wife-
songs.
My wife will, which means I probably vicariously will watch the majority of them, but
Are you sure?
no,
Okay.
nothing in life is sure.
Murray, what do you think?
I like it.
Good.
Tell us why.
I like
I like...
gold.
Gold.
Could
And
you sing
there's a
Chim
lot of
Chim
gold.
Churi as pirate?
Is that the pirate shanty?
Yes.
Yes, let's say it is.
Anybody else want it?
Shim shimmy shim shim shimmy.
Oh no.
Oh, Christmas tree?
Chimneys.
Bring back Dick Van Dyke, he did it better.
Did he? Yeah.
I like the show. It looks good.
You like the original show, or do you like this one better?
There was an original show?
Well, there was a movie.
That's a movie, mate.
I think that was
Check
the first
mate.
time I've ever been called mate on Geeks
And it
Corner.
felt natural, right? Like that
Not
was
at
good.
all, but that's okay.
It felt natural to me.
No,
it felt
it didn't.
real. It felt
Well,
real.
you're sitting
Pirate.
closer to him, so maybe that's.
I've accepted the premise.
Talk about the beard. We still need to talk about that.
I
Why?
assume the Rogue One thing.
The
How
rogue-
Rogue One didn't get moved back?
Oh, that.
I assume.
I never agreed to that. I don't know what you're talking about.
Shave that.
I'm almost good enough to braid it, so I mean things are getting pretty exciting over here. Actually, I desperately need a beard cut.
So trim it, take a video of it, and I'm sure that will suffice.
Just there, happy.
You know, I sometimes wish I just had scissors up here and I could just be like, and then not do anything other than that initial cut, and then just leave it.
But then we wouldn't be able to air it for the violent
Wouldn't that
things
be
that would
funny?
happen.
Your wife is saying it would be funny.
Of course you'd think it'd be funny.
She's
That
like, yeah,
sounds
do it.
horrible.
You know.
It sounds horrible.
And it's
don't
Got a
know.
chainsaw back here.
Okay,
Somewhere.
we have everything here. It's amazing. So you think it's gonna be good? You think it's gonna be terrible?
I'd say terrible. I'm nonplussed.
Okay.
Double plus good.
The other question is, wait, is Murray wearing a wig?
No.
No, that's all natural.
That's his real hair.
Captain.
Well,
Captain Murray.
we'll see if
He
you've
grows
earned
his hair
that.
really fast.
Yep.
Captain of what?
Captain America.
On my ship.
What ship?
The SS yet to be named.
Keep it, please. that's so good with hyphens and everything. It kind of wraps around the corner and back of the bone.
So prequels.
I've heard of them.
You wrote an article today on the problem with prequels.
Yes,
Would you like to give a synopsis of said article
they should all be destroyed.
that they can go read on dapsmagic.com?
The DAPsmagic.com. You should go read.
And
it.
then we'll talk about it a little bit and see if we think you have any credence to what you're saying.
No, rarely.
Sometimes.
Um,
Once in a while.
So, prequels. Prequels. I think for the most part, I mean, there have been some enjoyable prequels. I did enjoy Rogue One, and there are some that I considered good in the article I mentioned specifically. I think Monsters University, which was one of my favorite prequels of all time. But for the most part, there's some core problems with doing any movie that comes before another movie you've already seen, and it's difficult to get over them, and at the end of the day it's going to make for an inferior product. So I don't necessarily like prequels.
I think Rogue One is a good place to start with. You liked it, I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
I think you could make the argument that there was a problem with this prequel,
Mhm.
and to me it was in the last 5 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
It created some interesting questions about what happens in episode 4, and some...
My wrist beep, don't mind me.
Okay, as long as it's not mine. To me, it created some interesting questions about lines in episode 4
Mm-hmm.
that maybe lost some of their weight because of what happened in Rogue One.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you think?
I liked Rogue One.
It's not a question whether or not you enjoyed them, it's just that they're...
No, I really liked Rogue One. However, how it set up episode 4 in the last 5 minutes of the movie, which actually ended up being a reshoot for the scene in particular, makes it not like Darth Vader didn't work as hard to find Princess Leia, to be completely
he just
honest.
happened to be there.
He was at a battle, she happened to be there, they had drinks, and then it didn't go well. I don't know. But but they just happened to be in the same place, and he just followed her out, as opposed to having to really search for her and search for the plans, which he knew the whole thing, so it takes away the mystique of it. And as we were talking the other day, one of our issues with the prequels is how they take away from what your imagination can fill in the gaps. So episode 4, since we're talking about it, Darth Vader talks about how he's traced the plans to her.
Mm-hmm. Which means he, now that we know Rogue One, stood at the edge of a spaceship and went,
Hey, there it goes.
right there.
It's right there.
But that takes away from anything that could have been possible before that lets you fill in the gaps yourself.
And is that really tracing anything?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I watched them walk away with my plans, and I somehow missed stopping them. And then the ship got away, and I followed the ship.
Mm. Point being, it takes away from allowing the audience to intelligently assume things. No matter how good a prequel is, whether it be Star Wars or the Hobbit films, which I know there were books before, it's a whole other argument, but once you establish something with a movie and you enjoy that movie, a lot of the enjoyment comes from figuring out the nuances or the things that aren't said about these characters. And by spelling out some of those things previous to that, it takes away some of the meaning.
Mm-hmm. I think we could go into the next level that's a little bit more serious of an offense, would be the Star Wars prequels.
Star Wars prequels.
And then they did sequels of the prequels, which was even more of an offense, because we aren't getting into the sequel problem. We're just talking about the prequel problem. That's another problem entirely.
Entirely, yes.
Am I wrong?
No.
Nope.
Oh, okay. So talk about the problems with those.
Well,
actually, I want to ask
Mary the Pirate.
Mary the
Mary the Pirate.
What do you think about prequels?
Captain.
So yeah, the captain should always...
Maybe we should
Mary
just
the
call him
Pirate.
CPK.
Well, the problem with prequels is you have them before the sequels, and then you have them in the post-haste of the
Post-haste.
present movies that come out via the film reel.
Yep.
So
I
you
call
like
that.
them.
It depends.
So here's the next question, though, is you've got the Han Solo prequel
Mm-hmm.
that
This is
may
the
or may
prequel.
not be taking place 10 years before A New Hope.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a good idea?
It depends how they present it. What I concluded this article that you should read with is if they're asking new questions that allow for new answers, it can be interesting. And I think that's why Monsters University was so successful, is that nothing in that movie had almost anything to do with Monsters, Inc.
Other than that friendship.
Yeah, I mean, it was character-based, but it wasn't, like, overarching plots, completely unrelated. You could watch either movie and know nothing about the other and be totally satisfied with the experience. If they're able to pull that off with a Han Solo standalone,
So what do I have to do?
they have to make it not about the overarching story of the Force or Jedi or anything.
Because that's almost the mistake I think that Rogue One makes, is it makes it all too much about that last 5 minutes.
Right, yeah.
Because you spend almost 2 hours waiting for 5 minutes. It turns out it was a reshoot.
Mm.
That's really just a huge setup for A New Hope. That really the line they're pulling from to make this one was from episode 6.
Mhm. And I should care about the movie I'm watching, not the movie that I know is going to come after it.
Yeah.
So if they're going to be successful...
And I did like Rogue One. I just think this is
Yeah,
a weakness
same.
in it.
I think they'll need to focus on... I mean, I assume this is going to be the Han and Chewie origin friendship story, would be my guess. Which, by the way, if you know the expanded universe, they already have a great story, and I hope they pull from that if they do. But you need to focus on that, and nothing that happens there should have any other effect on Episode 4 and beyond, other than that friendship is established.
Yeah. William Fond is asking, are we considering Rogue One a prequel? I thought it was a standalone. It may not quite be one. I think it
standalone
was
prequel.
billed as a standalone, but
It's
it really
definitely
was a prequel.
Yep, and I talk about that a little bit in the article as well. It's quote-unquote standalone, but as long as it's coming before something else in the timeline, it's implying prequel.
Well, and if you're that directly connected, I think if they hadn't had those last 5 minutes, and it was literally the plan, if you haven't seen it by now, I'm doing spoilers, they beam the plans up to the ship goes away, and it just goes away, and you don't see that reveal at the end,
Mm-hmm.
and you just know that it got away. To me, that would have been a standalone.
Right, because
Thing.
then it just goes. Yeah, and there's a gap.
But instead, they set it up to, like, even with the music, as in, oh, you're on the ship that starts episode 4. There's the characters you see in episode 4, and Darth Vader is chasing you, just like in episode 4.
Mm-hmm.
There was a very direct connection made between the end of that movie and the beginning
And when you
of...
connect those lines, you don't allow room for the audience to assume things.
Right, or to fill it in later.
Mm.
Like, I think you could have done a really interesting story, you know, in the book or comics or something about from point A, or the end of Rogue One to the beginning of A New Hope, that really took you somewhere else. So Darth Vader really does have to trace the plans and doesn't know that, hey, they were on that ship that just got away.
At the end of the day, I think what bothers me about that is the movie maker is assuming too little of their audience.
Yep.
They're assuming that we cannot connect the dots ourselves, that we are incapable of imagining a scenario where these things could happen, and feel the need to spell it out for us, which speaks down to you a little bit. That's kind of why it leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
Well, it's taking out any room for imagination.
Yep.
Yeah. You have anything else to add on that?
I like stars and I don't like
You-
wars.
Oh, I thought you would because you're a pirate. What do you think?
Isn't that supposed to be your thing? I completely agree with the fact that they were claiming it as a standalone, but those last 5 minutes completely make it a prequel. They tried to tie in A New Hope so hard. They were like, remember A New Hope? Remember how it starts? Here we are. Whoa, my voice cracked.
Well, my concern, adding to that, is that with the Han Solo movie, they're going to somehow connect to the end of episode 4.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's like, oh, this is why Han Solo came back, is because something happened in his younger life that now he's connecting to, and he's remembering, and he's having his Force moment of whatever, that he feels like he has to go back and save Luke.
Which ties into part of what Cameron wrote on his article that you can read on DAPsmagic.com, is they take
Good luck.
one
Good
line
plug.
from the original trilogy and they make an entire movie out of it. And I'm then concerned that that's part of what the Han Solo movie's going to be.
Well,
is
they took
just-
2 lines, though.
Oh, forgive me. They took 2 lines. I'm just scared that they're gonna take bits and pieces from the original trilogy and just kind of make it into a movie.
Right, and that really on that, and that's one thing that bugged me more than anything else about the prequels. Mind you, and this is a whole nother discussion, I actually kind of like the Star Wars prequels.
Especially once you've seen the Clone Wars.
Yes. I don't know about that, because I haven't
Whoa,
seen it.
That was an intense point.
Add the Clone Wars,
heard
and the
that that's
prequels
what-
get a
that's
lot
what it
better. You
does.
watched them, right, Tyler? No? Am I the only one in here?
Mary?
You
I
watched
think so.
most
I
of
need
them.
to watch them.
Captain Mary.
Forgive me.
Didn't you
Captain
watch a
Mary?
lot of the Clone Wars, Marie? No?
Bias?
Okay.
Okay.
Um,
Well, but exactly to that point, the line that Alec Guinness's Obi-Wan says in Episode 4 of before the Clone Wars, before the Dark Times, that is a throwaway line, but it leaves so much room for the audience to assume things. That was the brilliance of it. And we know nothing about what the Clone Wars were. We know nothing of what these Dark Times were, but it's a great implication to assume why things got there. When they go into the prequels and spell out, and I think
define everything.
this is the audience's fault in many regards. They do exactly what the audience wanted, which is spell out all the politics in it and all this very slow-moving dialogue stuff that everybody ended up hating from the prequels. It's exactly what the audience was asking for. They just didn't know they didn't want it.
Yep. And that's partially of, or that's the challenge of being a good storyteller, is knowing better than the audience knows.
Right.
Because
the audience will ruin a movie if they're allowed to put
well,
any contribution
they're like the
to it.
little kid that wants to live off candy.
Yeah.
I mean, at some point, you get too much candy, you're going to get sick, and I think that's
And then
what
you
happened.
get Jar Jar Binks. That's what happens.
That's exactly
That
what
is
happens.
what happens.
Yes.
Personification of eating too much candy.
Yes, I want that. This is a picture for me.
That could be a meme. So we have Han Solo, we have Boba Fett. I'm assuming. I mean, it has to be a prequel because
It does not have to be a prequel. I think they're going to make a sequel because
well, it's going to be a prequel to something.
prequel to 7. I think.
6
Because I think no.
for Boba. It has to be a prequel to
No,
6.
no. I think it's going to be after the events in 6 because
dead.
No, he was not dead.
He's being digested for 1,000 years.
He
He's
was
dead.
supposed to be. However, there was a scene Lucas was going to include in the original that
But
shows Boba Fett climbing out of the
But
pit. But didn't. Because he assumed the character was not interesting enough to do it.
He's
I
not.
agree with him. However,
Sorry, Murray.
it is canon that they did want him to survive. I can see them do it.
It's not anymore. It's just legend.
If it wasn't in the movie, it's not canon. They shot it, but they didn't.
Yeah, but
It does not exist
The
anymore.
expanded universe says
Does
it
not count anymore.
But Disney's
Gone.
pulled so much from it, though.
But not exactly.
Ugh.
Look where Admiral Thrawn is now. Completely
I'm-
different timeline.
I might walk out of the
Right?
theater if in episode 8 Boba Fett appears. I'm just putting that out there. Like, if that happens,
That's
I might
the
stand
best
up and walk
argument
out.
for having Boba
Would
Fett
this
survive.
Would this be worse than them saying the title in the movie for you?
Actually, funnily enough, as a slight plug for an upcoming
That's gonna-
article this
yeah.
week, I am doing, I think I'm going to limit it to top 10, even though I think I have 25 at this point, of my biggest
Only 25.
failings in a movie. The things that make my teeth itch when I'm watching a movie.
That's all good.
Um,
How does that feel?
You don't want to know, but imagine you haven't brushed in 2 weeks and then you put some aluminum foil in
I
there.
can't
Like,
even-
it's that bad.
How do you know what that's like?
Don't question me.
Because he ate candy and then Jar Jar Binks.
Touche.
So I'm putting together a list of things that really just bother me in films. I may still enjoy these films, but they're the things that like give me a twitch in my eye. Of course, everyone knows my least favorite thing in a movie is when
Can't
they...
say it now.
What's that?
Got to read the article.
Yep.
On dapsmagic.com.
DAPsmagic.com. Tune in
Um,
this week.
Before we run out of time for the episode, this last weekend was the Star Wars half marathon. Apparently, this is a Star Wars show.
Yep.
One last question before we move on to this: are prequels going to kill Star Wars?
If they continue them without pushing forward with new content, yes.
It's very violent. I don't know.
So it's possible.
I don't know if it could necessarily kill Star Wars, but I feel like it could dampen it a lot.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot more risk with the prequels hurting the Star Wars brand currently than any of the sequels hurting Marvel.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Depending on where they go with it. I mean, we might be okay, but I think there's a big risk, especially if there's too many. I don't even know what you two are talking about online, William and Bailey. Who am I taking points away? Especially if it becomes too formulaic like Rogue One was, where it's connected to a movie. It's the character, like there's the direct tie-ins.
That we know everything that's
Yes.
going to happen.
So Murray, you ran the Star Wars half marathon this last weekend. You had record times. You were awesome.
Captain.
I really wish we
Everyone
had the
forgets I'm a
before and
captain.
after picture because you've also lost a lot of weight. Good job. How was your experience running the Star Wars half marathon this last weekend?
Tiring.
Good
That's
summary.
why I went to a ship. No running.
No
there.
running on a ship. There's not a lot of room.
Also, you're running around
around
water.
around.
That's not safe.
So you swim instead, I see. How was it?
Tiring.
Did you like some of the characters that you saw? Was it better than other half marathons? What did you feel about it?
There's a little round.
BB-8.
A ball. A jackal. Was it a jackal? A jackal.
It was a medal. There was a round medal that I received.
Oh, okay. A medallion.
Oh, you mean like the one Chewbacca didn't get?
Oh.
Speaking of prequels, maybe they should go into Chewbacca why he wasn't allowed to have that.
I have a lot of problems with the happenings in between 3 and 4.
So you
with
saw
Chewbacca.
you got a medal. You got 3 medals, didn't you? Way to overachieve.
Shiny.
They were shiny.
Although anyone who's been to Disneyland
Have you
after
melted
the
them yet,
marathons-
or
They're worth more whole.
okay?
Like more
What was your favorite part of the half marathon?
the running.
The running.
Good.
Was there a favorite character you saw?
The round.
BB-8?
Medals. Was it a medal?
Yes.
It's a medal.
Okay.
So
If
it's
they
gonna
want
be
it, if you
filled
want
out
to see a
below?
video,
It
go
was white.
look at this last Sundays with DAPs. It's got video from both you and Annie that you shot while running these races over the
Hi, Annie.
weekend. Thanks for taking them, Annie, and other Murray. Thanks for filming that too. And do you know what your next profession is going to be? Do you want to tease?
I'm a pilot right now. I've got to finish this up.
Yeah, we're going to fire you from that one.
Out of a cannon?
That's a good idea. You could be a Muppet.
Oh no, no, no.
That's going to work. Remember when Johnny tried to shoot me with electricity and how well that worked for him? Exactly. Anyway, we are out of time for tonight. We hope you've had a fantastic week. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check out these upcoming articles on dapsmagic.com. Tweet at us with, I don't know what you're doing, hashtag Geeks Corner. But for now, we'll see you around the corner.
Bye!